Welcome back for another video. Team selection, transfer plans and bench boost is active for Gameweek 8. It was 80 points before the break, so a really good game week before the international break, and that was for a number of reasons really, so let's do a quick recap. Got some clean sheets from Raya, Gabriel and Vardy, and obviously Vardy also getting the assist for Haaland's goal in that 1-0 win over Brentford. I'm really pleased with the decision to go for Vardy over Tarkowski so far, and obviously Man City are home to Everton next as well, so hopefully the gap between them increases more. So yeah, it was Captain Haaland with 16 points. I don't know if you guys have been the same, but one thing that has gone right this season so far is captaincy. 100% success rate with all 7 captains so far, and that's from 3 different captains I believe. It was the Semenyo game week though, 18 points he got, which is more than any player. He left it pretty late as well. He was on 2 points at 77 minutes. He scored a minute later and assisted Kluivert's screamer 6 minutes after that, and then he got the 96th minute brace to secure the 18 pointer. That's the second biggest score of any player this season so far. And it of course means that his ownership skyrocketed now, so every passing game week the gains that we get from him rank wise are lessened. We're going to have to make up those gains elsewhere with other players. The other reason it was a satisfying game week beyond the 80 points was the decision to not use the bench boost. I did have it active as of Wednesday, but I had a few doubts that crept in as the deadline neared, a few flagged players basically. So I got a bit lucky there given everyone did play in the end, but the bench didn't do very well. And it is active for Game Week 8, so I just have to hope everyone plays this week. And obviously I say it was a bad bench boost, like FPL is such an unforgiving game. You can put out a better bench boost or a better bench and it does worse than a week where you should have used it where it did better with a weaker bench. I don't know if that made sense, it sounded right in my head. But of course, yeah, the game week after international breaks can be a bit unpredictable as well, so fingers crossed. Let's have a quick look at how you all got on. Nat1 activated his wildcard and he says, got healthy green arrow. The wingers heavily carried this team, he says, Kudus, Semenyo and Saka, and he finished on 82 points, which was a green arrow to 100k. Incredible rank this early on. FPL Jetski says, 5 at the back, arse handed to me. Raya's clean sheet was the only return he got at the back. In fact, Raya and Haaland, the only ones that returned, absolute killer. And this is kind of the challenge with going Salah and Haaland right now. Like Salah's blanking a lot. When he blanks, you're massively up against it because you need the cheaper, less reliable assets to deliver for you, and that just isn't happening with a lot of the cheaper picks right now. I mean, I've seen some managers making it work, but yeah, no Semenyo, absolute killer. Same for Moodit, who says, can't be worse than this. 42 points all out, blanks from Van Dijk, Van de Ven, Gordon, Cunha, Rutter, Xavi, Watkins and Evan Nilsson. And last one is FPL Armo, who had an absolutely crazy week. Bench boosted with Ndai's goal and also Burns' 11 pointer on the bench. 23 point bench boost is insane for a single game week. 102 points all out, smashed it. So thanks for sending in, and let's get into the team for Game Week 8, shall we? Bench boost active. In goal, Raya faces Fulham away. It could potentially be without both Muniz and Jimenez, who both missed out last game week in their loss to Bournemouth. And that could potentially be good news from the perspective of the Arsenal defence, of course. They're joint top on the clean sheet odds this week, given a 44% chance. The other team with a 44% chance are Man City. The back three is Vardy, Gabriel and Senesi. Leeds and Sunderland are on a 34% chance, and then Liverpool, Chelsea, Palace and Wolves all 29%. I was having a quick look at Croatia's international break games. They played on the 12th of October, so that was already a pretty nice turnaround from that match to Game Week 8, but Vardy was benched as well, coming on second half. So is he worth buying still? I still think he's a really good option for 5.9 mil, despite obviously some mixed fixtures. Like they've got Everton home, and then it's Villa away, Bournemouth home, Liverpool home, and Newcastle away. I mean, Villa are rated red on the fixture ticker, which I think is not a fair reflection right now, let's be honest. Argentina played on Tuesday 14th, or it was actually the 15th in the early hours UK time. Senesi was called up for Argentina, but he was named on the bench and an unused substitute that match, which is good news as well. They're away to Palace on Saturday. I think Senesi is the one that you could make the case for waiting before you buy him. Well, obviously I hope he continues to do well, I've got him in my team, but the fixtures are a bit average for the next 4. And then it's Game Week 12 onwards, they look amazing. So yeah, he's looking like a long-term hold until the new year at least. 30th of December is the next time there's a bad fixture swing. It's Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Brighton, Liverpool from there, but if he continues to do well, then I'll just keep hold of him throughout that, because I've got value tied up in him. Gabriel was called up for Brazil, but good news for owners. He was also named on the bench in their final match in the break, and he didn't come on either. Richarlison and Cunha were also named on the bench if you've got either of them. Both were subbed on. Gabriel's averaging something like 40% more DEFCONs per 90 this season, which is quite a leap. But across the league, there has been an increase in DEFCONs, which is quite interesting. Like, what would cause that? Like, have the attacks just improved overall? Or is it the drastic rise of long throws that we're seeing? Maybe like more corners? But yeah, anyway, like the takeaway is there's more DEFCONs across the entire league, which of course increases the value of defenders. So in midfield, it's Ndai, Semenyo, Bruno and Reinders. It's perhaps a little harsh and a bit luxury, but I'm looking to sell Ndai this week. Well, I just think Everton are going to do really well to get anything out of a game at the Etihad. And of course, no Grealish is a huge loss as well. He can't play against his parent club. No one's got a higher expected assist this season than Grealish's 1.89. Mbumo's on 1.48, Doku 1.46, Saka 1.45. More on the transfer plans in a minute. Semenyo's passed 60% ownership now, and that number's going to be even higher at other ranked tiers. I mean, for example, at top 10k, he's about 76% owned last Gameweek, and that's going to be well over 80% next. I mean, not that I'm anywhere near that rank, but you get the point. He might be much lower owned at, you know, the 10 to 12 million ranked managers, but they're not the ones we're up against, or I hope not anyway. Alright, let's have the Bruno comments then. Liverpool away, I just don't think that's necessarily as tough as past seasons. I mean, I do realise as well Man United are looking worse than ever really overall, so maybe it levels out. But yeah, interestingly, over the last 4 game weeks, Liverpool have conceded 4.76 expected goals, which ranks 11th. They do feel like a weaker defence this season, but of course Van Dijk's been incredible for defensive contributions as well, partly due to that. Chelsea, by the way, 20th for expected goals conceded over the last 4, but of course a couple of red cards in there. It was very frustrating to bench that 9-pointer from Reinders against Arsenal. He started every game for me other than that, 5 blanks in his last 6 games. But that all said, I'm more tolerant of the blanks when he's that cheap. He's not using that much of my budget. I got him for 5.5 mil Gameweek 1, and it's not like there's other 5.5 mil or under midfielders tearing up anyway. So up front, it's João Pedro, Haaland and Gyökeres. Speaking of the red cards, of course Maresca got one before the break, so he won't be on the touchline for this one. Seems like Chelsea might have negotiated a few rests for some of their players, like Caicedo, James and João Pedro, all with time off over the break, which is good news. João Pedro's numbers have been a bit poor though as of late, but fixtures do create form as the cliche goes, and the next 5 are arguably the best in the league. It's Forest, Sunderland, Spurs, Wolves and Burnley. So it's Haaland captain. I'm keeping it simple, like he's in the form of his life again. He's been here before where, you know, he's averaging over a goal a game. In fact, in all competitions, he's got 19 goals and 3 assists in his last 10 games, 22 goal involvements in his last 10. Is he somehow getting even better? I've got some Opta stats here for you. So he's on 1.36 goals per 90, which is his best at City. 1.16 expected goals per 90 is also his best that he's registered. And likewise, the quality of his shooting. He's registering 0.27 expected goals per shot. 4.4 shots per 90 as well is marginally the most that he's registered. I'm going to stay patient with Gyökeres a little bit longer. The fixtures are starting to get good and it's potentially daft to sell now. Of course, the one player you could make a case for is swapping him to Saka, but I'd have to sell Gyökeres for Calvert-Lewin or Foster, which doesn't sit well with me as a guaranteed upgrade, those 2 moves. And yeah, as I say, it'd have to be 2 transfers as well. The midfielder I'd sell is Ndai. I mean, DCL and Foster, they do have a great Gameweek 8 fixture, so they might do well, but longer term, do I really want Foster or Calvert-Lewin in my team? So the bench boost is active, and the bench is Dubravka home to Leeds, Mukiele home to Wolves, Stack with Burnley away, and Anderson with Arsenal home. I did read that Alderete went off injured in the international break, so that's a bit of a concern, but just thinking out loud, they could have Ballard come in and keep the rest the same. Sadiki also picked up an injury, an ankle strain I believe. Hopefully he and Alderete make it for Sunderland's game, they're home to Wolves. You do need 15 out of 15 playing on the bench boost, and of course I don't have either of those 2 that are injured, but it would help Mukiele's chances I feel. And that's the thing that can often happen, the bench boost. Like for various reasons, you can have 13 or 14 out of 15 playing, so I'm really keen to just get the chip out of the way. I don't like the idea of waiting for the stars to align perfectly later, especially obviously with my wildcard used already now as well. I could really be up against it if I just start trying to chase a few extra points further down the line. I'll be following the press conferences very closely to make sure there's no reason to delay it. Overall, it's a good bench with the fixtures, besides of course Anderson, so I'm comfortable enough using it. So transfer plans then. I've got 4 free transfers, 0.3 mil in the bank. As I said, Ndiaye is the one that I'm looking to sell, and there's 2 very good options available that I can afford with 1 transfer, Enzo and Sarr. Now penalties are amazing, but let's say a player has taken 3 shots all season and all 3 are penalties, then that's not a reliable source of points. That's obviously a very extreme example of course, but the point I'm making is non-penalty expected goal involvement is a really valuable metric for FPL purposes. On Scout, he's on 3.47 non-pen XGI Enzo, which is top of all midfielders. And then it's Mbeumo and Sarr. So Sarr has done well, and of course he's missed a couple of games. Plus there is also the chance that Enzo's likely to be on pens, which is a bonus, make no mistake, until Palmer's back anyway, whenever that is. All the data tables that I use in these videos are from Scout. Use the link s.id/FPLFocal to get 40% off, plus use the code FFSFocal5 to get a bonus 5% off. That link and code are both in the description. I can't recommend them enough. So yeah, Enzo did withdraw from Argentina's second game due to inflammation of the knee. Now, BBC Sport reported it doesn't change much, as the plan had always been for him to rest that second game. He wasn't due to play it. So yeah, he was back in London early, and I'm just not sure what to make of it now. Hopefully we see him training, and a positive quote from Maresca: if it looks too dodgy, then I'll go for Sarr instead. The other 3 transfers I plan to roll. Thank you very much for watching. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll be back every day before the deadline with more content for you. See you soon for the next one.